Why did Jon Snow charge alone? Why didn't Sansa tell him about the veil? And why, despite everything being in Ramsay's favor, did he still lose? The Battle of the Bastards isn't just the most brutal scene in Game of Thrones, it's a battlefield of emotion, betrayal, and psychological warfare. And behind all the chaos, lies a truth almost no one sees. Because Jon Snow may have survived the battle, but he did not win it. Let's talk about Ramsay Bolton. The man was a sadist, sure. But he was smart. And in war, cruelty can be a strategy. Ramsay didn't just want to kill Jon, he wanted to break him. He knew Jon wouldn't think clearly if he dangled Rickon in front of him. Releasing Rickon wasn't about mercy. It was theater. It was psychological warfare. He played on Jon's loyalty, his family trauma, his guilt. And when Jon charged alone, Ramsay smiled. Because that's exactly what he wanted. He didn't care about winning clean. He wanted the North to see Jon Snow fall, and for fear to follow the name Bolton. Now here's where it all went wrong. Jon Snow is a good man. But he's not a good general. At least, not here. He allowed his emotions to control his tactics. Charging after Rickon without even a moment of hesitation. He exposed himself. He exposed his army. And when his men followed to protect him, they fell right into Ramsay's trap. That cavalry charge wasn't bravery. It was fear. And fear kills faster than arrows. Ramsay's forces closed in from both sides. A textbook pincer move. One of the most effective ancient military strategies. He boxed them in. Squeezed them. Crushed them. And then, he waited. He didn't just want them dead. He wanted them humiliated. While Jon was spilling blood on the battlefield, Sansa was playing a different game. She didn't tell Jon about the Vale army. Not because she didn't care, but because she didn't trust him to use it wisely. She saw how reckless he was. She knew how Ramsay operated. And she also knew that Peter Baelish wouldn't come for free. She took a risk, a massive risk, to keep that information close until the moment it mattered most. Because once she showed her hand, the game was over. And when the Knights of the Vale charged in, it was the first time in the battle Ramsay looked afraid. That wasn't Jon's victory. That was Sansa's. Here's the theory. What if Sansa Stark wanted Jon to fall into Ramsay's trap? Not to die, but to learn. What if she knew Jon would act emotionally? What if she knew he'd ignore her warnings? And what if she realized, she had to let him lose in order to win? Think about it. If Jon had won cleanly, without the Vale, Sansa's position in the north would be weak. The lords would see Jon as the only true Stark left, despite his bastard name. But if Sansa saved him, if she delivered the Vale, then she becomes more than just a survivor. She becomes a queen. It's cold. It's calculated. But after what Ramsay did to her, would you blame her? She didn't just survive the Boltons. She used them as a stepping stone. And if that meant letting Jon suffer to gain the North's loyalty, it worked. Because who did the Northern Lords declare queen? Not Jon. Sansa. So, did Jon Snow win the Battle of the Bastards? Or did Sansa Stark let him lose just enough to come out as the true victor? One was covered in blood. The other walked away with a crown. Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the greatest battles, betrayals, and theories in Game of Thrones. Winter is here, and the game never ends.